Hi guys, this is Caroline from nannuoshan, where we share the pleasure of drinking and discovering genuine farm teas. If you're new to this channel and look to expand your tea knowledge and brewing skills, please press the subscribe button. Let's get started.
But not without me. You thought that you got rid of me, right? All right. So, yeah, Caroline shared a good idea here to make a comparison between alishan and Dongding, and is a particularly good idea not only because they are both Taiwan oolong, but the very special things is they are both made with a specific cultivar, but they are processed in two different ways. So we have the possibility to compare actually a very similar processing indeed, but with tiny differences that result in a complete different taste, or quite different. So I would say before starting giving you a little bit of information about that, let's show you the leaves first. Let's do some space here and put these in the middle. I hope you can see. So we have the two bags. Here we have Dongding, here we have alishan. We can tell them apart by looking, so we can put one on one side, the other on the other, and so we could look at the leaves. And while looking at the different leaves, we can also then give you a little bit of information about the two teas. That should be sufficient. So you see, hopefully through the camera, that they look quite different indeed, right? On Caroline's side, we have Dongding, that is a little bit brownish in color, and on this side we have alishan. Watch, this is not a modern floral alishan, very little oxidized. It's still traditionally processed, so the leaves are not extremely green, but they are greener than the Dongding. So let's give you some data about these two teas. First of all, what we want to start, the Dongding. Dongding comes from, without surprise, from the Dongding village. That is not a very high altitude. At some time you might read on the website, it is at about, I believe, 700-800 meters above sea level. This particular Dongding is really original from Dongding, while in Taiwan you have a lot of Dongding that are called, or a lot of teas that are processed in a Dongding style. They are called Dongding, but they might come from elsewhere. Anyway, this batch here is from 2014. It is made of the Qing Xin cultivar, that means green heart. And I said it comes from Dongding, which is in the Nantou county, pretty much in the center of Taiwan. If we look at alishan, not much difference though. Alishan was also harvested in 2014. It comes with no surprise from the Ali mountain that is a little bit southern than Dongding. Probably air distance is about 50-60 kilometers, maybe 40 miles. You have to do a little bit going around the mountain, so by car might takes a couple of hours to get there. And this alishan is also made with the Qing Xin cultivar. Now, Qing Xin is a very famous cultivar, very used cultivar in Taiwan. I don't know if you currently know, but about 2/3 of all tea gardens in Taiwan are made with the Qing Xin cultivar. So it's really at the limit, or even more, because when you have too much production with the same cultivar, you might have the risk with pests and diseases. So think about that next year there is an insect that is particularly attacking the Qing Xin cultivar. You have 2/3 of the tea production in Taiwan that gets endangered. Anyway, the water is almost warm. I will cook it just a little bit more because we want to steep these at 100 degrees centigrade. And we have already put 4 grams, right?
4 grams, yeah.
4 grams in the green one. Here I have alishan and you have Dongding.
Yes.
So we can put back the tea in the bag. You want to open yours? I squeeze it in, and then with let's see. No, that's not bad. Here we go. And then maybe we do the same with this one here. Oh wait, the water is boiling, so I will start. Let's start steeping it. We will do a quick rinse just to awake the leaves, Caroline, and then we will compare the taste of these two Qing Xin or Qing Xin. I think they are both two high tones. So here you go. Let's have a look at the color. It's already. Well, you can see this is already.
I actually poured it in the two same cups, but never mind.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
All right. So we just warm up the cups. Oh, the quantity is pretty good actually for those cups. And here is a waste container, so we can throw this away. All right. Let's start with that one.
Smells nice. Yep. Nicely roasted.
Light, very aromatic. Not super sweet, but it has a sweetness to it.
It tastes like roasted bread or like a toast bread as well.
The dongding.
The
Oh, which one?
The dongding. Yeah.
This is this is
Yeah,
dongding.
that's it, yeah.
And this
This
one
is
here.
a bit more buttery and.
Yeah, buttery is a good description. Let's taste. Let's steep them. Okay, want to start? The leaves are still rolled, so we'll let them steeping for a little while. I put about a bit more than 100 milliliters, maybe just 100. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, similar. Okay. Alishan, I didn't say it before, we say it is a mountain. I believe Alishan goes pretty high. It's not as high as Lishan, but I believe it goes up to about 2,300, 2,400 meters, something like that. But the tea garden are a little bit at the lower altitude. Here the leaves are already unfurling.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's wait a little bit. This is a type of tea that doesn't really get very bitter.
Yeah, no.
So you can, no problem, 100 degrees, so boiling water, a little bit longer, you get more taste out of it. Don't be afraid to get too much bitterness. It's a bit loud, sorry, air conditioning. Okay. Look at the dongding.
Nice golden color.
Yeah. So I say the two teas were harvested in the same season, and you see how different the color is. That because the dongding is oxidized and he's roasted a little bit more than the alishan. So you can see here at the color of the two that are fairly different. I will put the in the green one here the alishan, the one in the front. That's perfect.
Okay, so I think I'll start with the alishan because smelling the dongding and then smelling the alishan makes it very tough because the dongding is really powerful and has more of this roast, and when you then have the dongding that is a bit lighter, it's a bit difficult.
So alishan, yeah. I even taste the butter. Taste, yeah.
Slightly floral, but yeah.
The butter is a good description for the texture, the feeling that you have in your mouth. It's not watery, it's a little bit thick, maybe oily or buttery. Yeah, it's
slightly oily in the mouth. Yeah.
yeah, in the mouth. Not only the color is oily,
but even the taste as well. A bit of an aftertaste.
Slightly milky with this clear floral scent to it. Yeah, not super high pitch, so it's like there is it's not super sweet. It's not sweet actually. It's not bitter. It's not sweet. It has just this florality in there. If I get too sweet tea, like the Jimmudan that we had, or even the ginger flower danson, I really like them, but I cannot drink them over and over again. You know, it's just too sweet. Yeah.
Well, this one is totally different. Yeah.
More fruity note, ripe fruits. It has, I would say actually, to me, is a little bit sweeter. Actually, it is deeper, but
deeper,
it has some honey into it, a little bit of honey, but there is no floral tone. It's rather on the fruity side. It's a fruity sweetness. Now we have an helicopter passing by. Who knows, maybe it's Trump. We are in DC here. I know it's not, because this was only one helicopter. When he flies, there are always two.
But usually there's a lot of patrols, especially if he's in the White House, just to, yeah, they just remain static, just in front of the White House, just probably with snipers, just in case something happens.
I won't comment. Shall we try to show them the wet leaves? Let's put them here in the middle. Let's see. It's a bit tough, but I'll do my best. Maybe you can hold that one with the other hand?
I can hold both.
You can hold both? Okay. Yeah. I hope you can see. So the donding is darker. Here you can see still a lot of green color. Here is almost everything gone. It's very dark green and brown. But nonetheless, you see that the splack is very similar. You have some stem, which is common. Look at this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 leaves on a stem. And also for the alishan, you have similar combination. Well, now I just took a stem out. Okay. So the water is boiling. Let's do another steep. We have to say that both these teas have a very strong aftertaste. So they basically mix up in your mouth when you do this kind of comparative tea tasting. We should have probably taken a palate cleanser in between the two, but when you have tea with a very strong aftertaste, it's very hard to get rid of it. Even if you eat some bread in between, the aftertaste remains there. And I have
so
to
the
say,
first one, the alishan, it's more subtle, but of course the dongding is really like more powerful. So this is the one that kind of overpowers the alishan huigang.
and you know, I remember the first time that I tasted this tea. As I told you, it is from 2014. The first time I tasted this was in 2015, and I tasted it in the evening. Yeah, I had a tea session. I tasted it, and then I went home by bike. And on the way home, I had the donding taste that was coming out of my throat and filling my mouth. It is really one of the tea with the strongest aftertaste. If you're not sure about the huigang, yeah, huigang is in Chinese the return hui of the sweetness, huigang. And you have heard about people saying that is a nice feeling that you have in pu'er and also in other teas, but you have never experienced that, then try that with donding. Yeah, there you cannot miss it. Let's leave it a little bit longer. Yeah, maybe what we do, we don't want to keep you there just watching us, waiting for the leaves. We come back in a minute and we'll just leave it a little bit steeping for a little bit longer, because I want to take all the taste out of it. So we will be right back with you. We are back, and we have been waiting more than an additional minute, so I would say this tea has been steeping for about 3 minutes. And you can tell by the color. Oh, look at the Dunding, it looks like almost a black tea. I have to say,
so buttery. This one is really buttery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying, I have to say, personally, or let's say, think about which tea do you like the most. For me, it's the Dunding. It's really one of my favorite tea. Alishan is also nice, but how a tea is so complete and full, where nothing is missing, like Dunding, is rare to find. Which one do you like?
Alishan.
You like
It's
Alishan?
nice and flowery. It's true, it has maybe less of a body, so it's higher notes, so more of these floral notes, buttery notes. Maybe if you like full body teas, this might not be the best choice. Then you should rather go for Dongding. But Alishan is also very good oolong tea, like a bit fresher, lighter, something that would be nice in summer.
And if it is processed properly, I would say traditionally, right? Without keeping it too green, it can last very, very long. This tea is actually already 5 years old and it still tastes very fresh. I have to add, it was always stored in a relatively cold and dry environment, so that also helps. Yeah, and the taste is still there. It is a little bit rounder, maybe.
Yeah.
I really like Dongding. Also, you've seen here we are doing just traditional Gongfu-cha, but Taiwan oolong, if not too green again, you can also steep it very, very simple, just taking a bowl, let's say 150 milliliters, I would say. You put 3 grams of leaves, you put water in it, and then after a little while you just start drinking without mixing it, and so that you start basically drinking the surface of the tea that is lighter. Then when the water goes down, you just refill with hot water and you keep on drinking. You can have basically the same cup of tea with the same leaves for the whole morning.